How's it going, guys? This is Tay Salamander here. I want to get my thoughts and opinion on Naruto Chapter 606. Pretty much, the chapter happens off where it did from last week with Obito killing all the hit and miss ninja with his wood style ninjutsu. And he's in this, darkness, dream, shadow world, and whatever. And he tries to pick up Rin, but his hand, slips through because he still has calmly activated in his, Mount Sharingan gun. And even though this is like a dream world or whatever, he wants to bring the dead back to life, and he wants to bring Rin back to life. I don't see exactly why you're doing all this for a girl, but hey, I guess you just can't help the fact you're being rejected. That she loves your best friend and not you. But anyways, as we move on, we see Obito, he goes back to the cave, talk with Madara. Madara goes on to say, I'm happy that you, returned and everything, and that I don't have to thank you now. And he hoping that no one from the Hidden Leaf Village or anyone else saw you. And pretty much not Spiral Zetsu, White Zetsu goes on to say that no one saw him, that Kakashi, had passed out, and he was shocked to see that Obito didn't kill Kakashi right there on the spot, and that the Hidden Leaf Ninja, as soon as they got there, they were just confused and wondering, like, who killed all these ninja and everything. And Mother goes to ask Obito, so what do you think about your past teammates now? And pretty much at this point, Obito says he could kill us, like he doesn't give a fuck at this point. He wants to make this dream world a reality for, you know, Rin and Kakashi. And he tells Obito to look into his Sharingan, and he does. And they go to this, they go into this genjutsu of Madara's, and Madara, looking like very young again, about 20, 30 years old. And Madara goes on to tell Obito about the history of himself and the history of the Stage of Six Paths and the Ten Tails Jubi. Afterwards, we go on to the next page. We see it's been a few years now. A few years have passed, and Obito and Zetsu, White Zetsu, are in the Hidden Rain Village, and it would seem like they're spying on someone. And it's a picture of Nagato, with his Rinnegan activated. And Obito goes on to say, "Is this him? Is this the one Madara gave his Rinnegan to?" And White Zetsu goes on to say, "Yes, this is the guy Madara gave his Rinnegan to, Nagato, because he's of the Senju lineage or whatnot." And afterwards, we go back, switch over to Madara. And Madara goes on to say, after a short time, he had broken a certain seal, which was the moon, and he had found I guess in a way, the incomplete vessel of the Ten Tails Jubi to use for his, plan that was to come eventually, and that he hooked the, he called it the Ghetto Mazda, but he hooked the Ghetto Mazda up to his body, to stay alive and everything, to have the chakra sent to his back and everything, so that he could, live. But by having, the Senju and his Uchiha blood in him, shortly before his death, he awakened the Rinnegan. And he goes on to say more that having, the Rinnegan and Uchiha, having the Senju and Uchiha blood in you that you can awaken the Rinnegan. But seeing since Obito, doesn't have, the full extent, awaken the Rinnegan, he can he can still he can still use, the Gezumazu without the Rinnegan. But afterwards, we see Madara, and he's with his white Zetsu, and he puts his hand on its side, and all this black stuff, goes on one side. And this is where Black Zetsu is born. Pretty much, he says this black half is the will of myself. So pretty much, it's the shape of me, and that do what you like with this. Use it as a pawn or whatever. Let it be your, tool. Use it as your subordinate and everything. And very much, in other words, and everything. And that these white Zetsus are, clones of Hoshirama. They're on a much weaker scale. aka they can't pretty much fight or whatever, and that you can use these white Zetsus and everything to your disposal. Afterwards, Madara removes the cable cords or chakra cords from his back, so I'm supposing this is where he dies. And afterwards, he says, "Until the time comes, my revival, take on my name and change this world for the better." And afterwards, we see a picture of Nagato, and he's saying, "Who are you, and what do you want?" And he says, "My name is Madara Uchiha." And that's pretty much where the chapter ends for Naruto 606. Pretty much, in a nutshell, this was a refreshing chapter. Like, we're starting to get more details on whatnot about the chapter, and more revelation about Nagato and how he got the Rinnegan and everything. So I'm still hoping we get more, answers to everything, and seeing does Nagato join up with Tobi/Obito or not, or just along the way, does Tobi persuade Nagato and everything from the incident that happened with Yaiko? Does he join them or not? That's pretty much my thoughts and opinion for this week. Rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Overall, have a blessed day.